Happening now, a second suspect has been arrested in connection with a drive-by shooting that involved 2 children in northern Chautauqua County. And a look at how businesses are gearing up for the holidays.
We asked any business within 14701 zip code they could decorate for Christmas, be entered to win in a couple really great prizes
by decorating storefronts in downtown Jamestown. Plus, how locals are honoring a JHS student who died in a hit-and-run accident last year.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
Thank you for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Bronson Rasmussen, in for Justin Gould. Those stories and more are coming up, but first, a second suspect has been arrested in connection with the drive-by shooting of 2 children in northern Chautauqua County. City of Dunkirk police announced the arrest of 40-year-old Hughan Cruz Corzala on Thursday. The man, along with Javier Cruz Corazza, allegedly shot 2 children ages 8 and 11 during a drive-by shooting back on July 17th. Hughan Cruz Corzala was taken into custody by the U.S. Marshal's Office, fugitive from Justice Unit, hiding in a trailer in the town of Hanover. On November 22nd, after arraignment, he has since posted bail. While the 11-year-old has been released from medical care, officers said the 8-year-old girl is still recovering from life-threatening injuries she sustained. A 22-year-old Cattaraugus County man has pled guilty to a felony attempt murder after stabbing his girlfriend. The Erie County District Attorney announced Gabriel Melcati of Olean pleaded guilty on Wednesday in March 2021. He allegedly stabbed his girlfriend in what prosecutors called an intent to kill her while at a residence in the town of Collins. Furthermore, the man also allegedly beat the woman and strangled her to the point of unconsciousness during the assault. He faces a maximum of 25 years in prison when he is sentenced before next month. A temporary order of protection remains in effect on behalf of the victim. Winter weather snarled the morning commute for some today as a blast of lake effect snow blanketed the area. We'll get a check of conditions in part of Interstate 86 in just a bit. But first, we have our chief weather forecaster, Dakota Hunter, joining us here on the latest on where the snow is falling and how much we are seeing. Dakota?
Well, Bronson, as of right now, the lake effect snow is starting to cut out. And about 15 minutes ago, the National Weather Service in Buffalo has canceled that winter weather advisory that was in place. So actually, it was set to go until 1 o'clock, so they canceled it a bit early. But you can see from the Randolph Peaches and Cream Skycam some of the snow accumulation that we had overnight, and we'll show you the snow totals a little bit later on in the show. We'll show you who got what here. So as we take a look at the radar here, you'll be able to see here some of that snow that was coming down over the past couple of hours. See how it's kind of fading away as it moves inland. So we're not going to be dealing with that snow for too much longer. It's ultimately going to be dissipating through the afternoon hours. 46 was the high yesterday, started the day at 23, 68 and negative 10. Are the records. Man, that's cold. So hour by hour we go, and we are going to be dealing with some snow showers on and off through the afternoon hours, but they're ultimately going to cut out and temperatures hovering right around 30. Now, I will have those snow totals plus the Ultimate Satellite Solution 7-day a little bit later on in the show, Bronson.
Dakota, thank you. The lake effect snow caused some issues for drivers today, especially in rural areas. Our Justin Gould has a look at the conditions on I-86 in Cattaraugus County.
Good day from a snowy and blustery I-86 in the town of Randolph. Throughout the morning hours Thursday, things were a slow go in many spots of the Southern Tier Expressway here, right along the Chautauqua-Cattaraugus County line. There were reports of several vehicles off the roadway between Randolph and Jamestown, headed westbound. In many cases, the conditions weren't horrible. However, a good amount of blustery winds, especially in places like Kennedy along farm fields, really blew that snow over the roadway, which caused issues for some people who were trying to get to work. Things weren't all that bad. Obviously, side streets can be slippery, especially on hilled areas where maybe crews aren't able to keep up with it as much as some of the major thoroughfares. More priority routes like North Main Street in Jamestown wasn't all too bad. Hey, back here in Randolph right now, conditions on the interstate are pretty good. Standing here, you can see in fact all of it really now down to bare pavement. Still a little bit of wet, still a little bit of slushy. New York State DOT crews now putting down a little bit of salt, a little bit of sand as they're working through, cars at max speed. But again, it's some of those trickier spots within the thicker snow bands that we saw throughout the overnight and into the early morning, which was causing an issue for some. We'll, of course, continue to track conditions and provide updates for you throughout the day. But reporting now from Randolph, I'm Justin Gould, WNY News Now.
Justin, thank you. For the latest forecast and to check out our array of weather cameras across the region, visit WNYNewsNow.com. A local area ski resort has announced their plans to open for this year's winter season. Peak and Peak Ski Resort and Climber announced this week that patrons can start hitting the slopes starting Friday, December 9th. Only a few select trails will be open, however, along with 2 lifts for the weekend. The slope will then be closed for the week of December 12th through the 15th, with the resort opening in full for force on Friday, the 16th. Other reports, like Holiday Valley and Elkittville, plan to open December 2nd, and Cockaigne Ski Center in Cherry Creek, while having their restaurant up for business. The slopes are planned to open for the 2022-2023 season. And we'll get a little check with you, Dakota. Have you looked into what kind of snow that these resorts have?
Yes, as of right now, we actually do have some snow on the ground at some of the ski resorts. I actually do have the updated ski resort forecast for you coming up in full weather in about 10 minutes or so. So stay tuned for that. But I'm telling you, this snow is well needed for those ski resorts. And of course, after this kind of past week we've had with some of the warmer temperatures and some of the rain kind of melted the snow. Nice to bring some of the snow back, especially for the ski resorts across the area. So stay tuned. That's what we call in the news business a kicker.
Oh, yeah.
Because I've got it for you later in the show.
It is finally December. It is finally winter here, people.
Yes, it is. Happy meteorological winter, by the way.
Jamestown Public Schools, alongside a local business, have established the Lexy Hughan Sunshine Fund in honor of the 15-year-old Jamestown student who was killed in a motor vehicle crash last year. The Huron Farm and Event Center, located in Sherman, presented the school with a check for $3,850 to the Jamestown High School Attendance Counseling Center, a program that meant a lot to the late student. The center, where students could go if they needed space, peace, or a quiet place, was one of Hughan's favorite places to go, according to the school staff. Lexy had made a center a place of healing, support, and love. They plan on using this fund to enhance the attendance center at the request of the teens' parents. The funds will be used to purchase supplies and activities for the counseling center. The almost $4,000 was raised from the farm's 4th annual Heron Trail Run in mid-August. Well, as WNY News Now continues, our state capitol correspondent with an update on the push to investigate New York's COVID response with nursing homes, and later, a new change could reduce regulations for hunters in our region. Stay with us, as WNY News Now will be right back.
Wishing you a safe and happy holiday season. WNY News Now, the Jolly Team, where coverage comes first.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. Transferring your data from your old computer plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
Welcome to WNY News Now's in Channel 716 presentation of the Jamestown Holiday Parade. We are celebrating along with hundreds of other folks from the Pearl City as we ring in holiday cheer. 2, 1. Looking for a fair and honest auto mechanic? Look no further than DeWyas Auto Service. Located at 140 Main Street in Randolph, our family-owned business is ready for all of your automotive needs. From general service to more complex repairs, count on DeWyas Auto to keep you on the road. We not only keep your cars running smoothly, but also looking great with our expert detailing crew. Send us a message on Facebook or call us today at 716-358-2292 to set up an appointment. DeWyas Auto Service. Fair, honest, and the best prices guaranteed.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
With legislative session just around the corner, our state senator is calling for an investigation into New York's COVID response, specifically an executive order that sent thousands of recovering COVID patients to nursing homes. Our New York Capitol correspondent Elise Klein spoke to the representatives about what an investigation would look like and what it could mean for the state's future COVID response.
On March 25, 2020, former Governor Cuomo filed an executive order through the Department of Health to send recovering COVID patients to nursing homes. More than 9,000 patients were sent to nursing homes across the state. The order was in effect until Cuomo reversed it in mid-May. And as legislative session approaches, State Senator Tom O'Mara says there needs to be an investigation.
Yes, mistakes might have been made, but let's learn from those mistakes and not just cover it up and act as everything was appropriate and done okay when we know for a fact that it wasn't.
O'Mara says over the past year he has demanded many times that the chairman of the State Senate Investigations Committee, James Skoufis, open an investigation and issue subpoenas for individuals involved in the March 25th executive order. He says an investigation would help lawmakers understand why the order was put in place and what the impacts were. But the majority Democrat senators of the Investigations Committee voted against moving forward with an investigation and issuing subpoenas.
There needs to be a change of the majority wanting to take a look at these things.
O'Mara says there is still interest among legislators to push for an investigation into the March 25th executive order. Any progress made on this issue will likely happen in January when legislative session starts. In Albany, Elise Klein, WNY News Now.
Elise, thank you. Girl Scout cookie season is coming early with a special holiday offer this month. The Girl Scouts of Western New York announced this week online purchases will start on December 10th. New this year, cookie lovers will be able to try the Raspberry Rally cookie, which is available for purchase online while supplies last. Raspberry Rally is a pink, crisp raspberry flavored center and is dipped in the same chocolate coating as the popular Thin Mint cookie. It will be sold exclusively on digital platforms and shipped directly to the customer's door. The Girl Scout cookie program runs to March 29th, 2023. To learn more, visit gswny.org. Nearly $15 million has been awarded through the Market New York program to support multiple projects related to tourism statewide across the Empire State. Market New York promotes travel destinations, attractions, and special events in the Empire State. According to the announcement, the tourism industry is New York's third largest industry, supporting 1 in 11 private sector jobs. The industry generates enough in state and local taxes to save every household in the state more than $1,000 annually. Pennsylvania lawmakers and state game officials say a new law will make it easier to obtain antlerless deer licenses. For next year's season, antlerless deer tags will be attainable online and from all sellers authorized by the commission, including retailers, gun shops, and others. Our Brendan Scanlon tells us more about the law and what that means for hunters.
With this year's hunting season already well underway, the legislation that was signed into law by Governor Wolf earlier this month won't take effect until next season. According to game officials, it will provide a much-needed update to the antlerless license application process.
It's certainly more modernized, and that's something that many of our hunters were asking for.
Travis Lau with the Pennsylvania Game Commission says the new law provides options for hunters.
The ability for hunters to have a choice in where and how they purchase licenses.
Senate Bill 431, now Act 148 of 2022, expanded license issuing agents beyond just county treasurers.
For hunters, that means that they'll be able to go down to the corner store, go to their local big box retailer, go to their local gun shop, go online.
For decades, hunters have had to apply for antlerless deer licenses by mailing an application and a check to a county treasurer in a timely fashion. It's an outdated, slow, and costly process, according to State Senator Dan Laughlin of Erie, the sponsor of Senate Bill 431.
But honestly, it's just one more step in making it easier to purchase your licenses, and it's easier for the Game Commission to control, how many they're selling for each management unit.
Laughlin says the new options are more practical for the next generation of hunters in that they can save the Game Commission time and money.
They spend about $250,000 a year just printing those pink envelopes, so that's money that can be better used for either management or habitat restoration.
Lau says the role hunters play managing deer populations is an essential one that would otherwise have to be handled by the state and with taxpayer dollars. That's why he and lawmakers like Senator Dan Laughlin say it's important to reduce barriers for hunters and make necessary updates where needed. Reporting in Harrisburg, Brendan Scanlon, WNY News Now.
Brendan, thank you. Coming up, our Washington, D.C. correspondent is coming with us with the latest congressional action to stop a major nationwide rail strike. She's breaking down the impacts for New Yorkers. And later, how local businesses in Jamestown are decking the halls in preparation for the holiday season. But first, we return with a look at our full weather forecast when WNY News Now returns.
With coverage that matters. This is WNY News Now.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping, maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Welcome to WNY News Now's in Channel 716 presentation of the Jamestown Holiday Parade. We are celebrating along with hundreds of other folks from the Pearl City as we ring in holiday cheer. 2, 1.
I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor.
Testicular cancer is the leading form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35.
1 in 250 men will be diagnosed with testicular cancer.
But 98% will survive if detected early.
As a survivor, I believe early detection is the key.
Learn how to do a testicular self-exam and other important facts about testicular cancer at oneball4tc.com.
Wishing you a safe and happy holiday season. WNY News Now, the Jolly Team, where coverage comes first.
Fast, accurate, and every day. First Defense Weather.
Welcome back, everybody. And speaking about Girl Scout cookies, I don't have my plug anymore. My niece is not in Girl Scouts anymore, so I don't have my plug. Anyway, talking about the snow totals here, Little Valley, you're the winner here at 8 inches of fresh powder on the ground right now. Cattaraugus, 6.5. Jamestown here, 6 inches, 5.5 in Faulkner, and in Randolph, 4.7 in Mayville. So enough fresh powder to coat the ground as well. So this is all lake effect. And again, we talk about this a lot because it's interesting to kind of talk about the development of lake effect snow. It all starts with that warm Lake Erie water. Lake Erie is 45 degrees off the Buffalo Harbor right now. We get a cold air mass crossing the surface of the lake. We look at a 25-degree temperature difference from the surface of the lake to 5,000 feet up into the atmosphere. If we have a 25-degree temperature difference, which we had, we ultimately get that warm air from the lake rising. Those lake effect clouds form. And then the big main factor of who's going to get the snow is the winds. The winds come across the lake and push the clouds inland where they dump their snow. And that is what we look for, is the wind direction. North, if it's west, southwest, northwest, that ultimately depends on who's going to be getting the snow. And we talked about it, the ski and snowboarding forecast just updated this morning. Peak and Peak, as we mentioned, plans to open next Friday, 6 to 12 inch bases with a machine groomed surface. Holiday Valley, 4 to 20 inches. They will be reopening tomorrow. Hollymont plans to open in the middle of the month, and also for the same for Mount Pleasant as well down there in Edinburgh for our friends in northwestern Pennsylvania. It's cloudy downtown right now. We have a light snow shower at the Jamestown Airport. It's cold though, 28. The wind has come down west of 14, but it's still a breezy day, and the wind chill, 17. Ooh, yikes, cold. Now, First Defense Doppler radar showing you what's left of this lake effect snow. It's really fizzling out now. We're starting to lose the lake connection. The lake effect snow machine is shutting down. And again, as we mentioned, that winter weather advisory was canceled around noon, so that's no longer in effect. This is not snow right here, these dark blue areas. You know what that is, Bronson? We talk about it all the time. It's the
windmills, wind
it's
turbines.
The wind farm. That's right, in Arkwright. It returns on the Buffalo radar because of the beam height. So here's what's going on right now. Cold front is shoved on through, now off into the Atlantic, and we have a weak boundary that is starting to move into the Great Lakes. So this boundary is ultimately going to keep the clouds in place for this Thursday, and will ultimately, though, shut the lake effect snow machine down. You can see on Future Scan, notice the snow kind of cuts out as we go through the evening hours. Now, through the overnight hours, will be partly to mostly cloudy. I don't think we're going to see as much clearing as what's being depicted here, but tomorrow should be a nice day, partly to mostly sunny. Temperatures do budge up to around average. Then we start to get some rain showers coming in here with our next system, which will arrive on Saturday. So speaking of Saturday, we have the Christmas parade coming up in downtown Jamestown. Updated forecast. We do think the rain will transition over to snow showers, at least some light snow showers. Cold though, lower 30s and breezy with a west wind of 18. So if you don't want to venture downtown, watch us right here on Facebook Live, WNYNewsNow.com, and of course on channel 716 on Roku. So the future is on the screen. So again, it turns windy on Saturday. Wouldn't be surprised if we see another wind advisory issued for Saturday as well. Chilly day on Sunday, 34, and then the temperatures kind of go up and down into mid next week, Bronson.
Woohoo, December is here. Now we'll get you some headlines from across the nation. Prosecutors are expected to continue their closing arguments in Harvey Weissman's Los Angeles trial Thursday. He's charged with 2 counts of rape and 5 counts of sexual assault. He's pleading not guilty to all the charges. In Wednesday's arguments, the LA County Deputy District Attorney said Weinstein used his Hollywood power to prey on women. The defense had argued his accusers either fabricated their stories or had consensual relationships with him. Congress is working to avert a rail strike that could impact our community. The measure passed Wednesday in the House on a largely bipartisan vote, and now the Senate will take it up. Our Washington, D.C. correspondent Rachel Knapp reports.
Many rail lines pass through New York's southern tier, and so any potential of a rail strike could be damaging to the local economy. Now, on today's vote, it was 290 to 137 that legislation the House passed today would force the rail companies and employees to accept an agreement which included increased pay and flexible schedules for rail workers. The New York Times is reporting some of the unions have hesitated to proceed with the agreement because it lacks paid family or medical leave. The unions threaten to strike if an agreement can't be reached before next Friday, and so that's why Congress is stepping in to prevent that from happening, because if a strike does occur, that could have detrimental economic damage nationally, including in the Twin Tiers area. Now, in a separate vote, which would codify the previous agreement, the House also approved a plan to add a minimum of 7 days of paid sick leave for rail workers as part of their labor contract. That vote came down to 221 to 207, with the majority of Republicans voting against the measure. Our local representative, Joe Sempolinski, voted for that first measure, which would implement the agreement with the rail workers, but he voted against the second measure, which would essentially add those 7 days of paid sick leave. Back to you.
Rachel, thank you. Both measures now head to the Senate. It's unclear which way the Senate will vote on the two pieces of legislation. The Biden administration was dealt another setback in court Wednesday in its effort to revive a student loan debt relief policy. A second federal appeals court rejected a bid to put on hold a ruling blocking the president's student debt relief policy. The court ruled that it would not pause a ruling from a Texas judge, striking down the policy while an appeal of the ruling played out. The move set up its stages for the U.S. Justice Department to take the case to the U.S. Supreme Court, which is already considering a separate request from the Biden administration to reverse an order blocking the loan forgiveness program. They did not explain their reasoning for rejecting the administration's request, but the panel ordered the full appeal to be considered on an expedited basis. About 26 million people had applied for student loan relief prior to the recent court's decisions, with 16 million of those applications being approved. Next, we take a look at how businesses are spreading holiday cheer by decking the halls, or in this case, their windows downtown.
Wishing you a safe and happy holiday season. WNY News Now, the Jolly Team, where coverage comes first.
I know what you're thinking. I need a job. I need a new career.
Well, I've been there.
I've been there.
I've been there. I wasn't happy with what I was doing.
After high school, I didn't have a plan.
I just wanted to. I paid off twice, but you gotta keep going.
You just need the right skills. Find an apprenticeship.
I found a 2-year IT program.
I found a medical course online.
I'm now a consultant in the tech space.
You have more options than you think. You can do this.
You will find something.
You will find something new.
Parade goers in Jamestown this weekend will have another fun activity to participate in to spread the holiday cheer as they cast their ballots as part of a window decorating contest. Our Julia Gress shares the festive fun.
We're doing a window decorating contest where we asked any business within 14701 zip code they can decorate for Christmas, be entered to win in a couple really great prizes, and it's all done via texting. Anybody can vote. Doesn't matter who you are.
30 businesses are competing this year, and Chautauqua County's Chamber of Commerce needs your help to vote for a winner. Voters can scan a QR code or text 866-993-0032 once per day until November 4th.
And then you can select the number or the name of the business that you would like to vote for. The full list I do have posted on Facebook on a post. I'm going to share that again today, and then the pictures of the ones that I have the next couple days.
Coordinator Carrie Swanson hopes that those attending the parade will use their downtime to check out the businesses around town.
In the past, when JRC used to run the window decorating contest, they did marketing and those kind of advertising opportunities for these businesses, which sometimes is the thing that unfortunately gets, you got a budget, and we all get that. So we wanted to open that up.
The top windows will win free advertising from several media outlets, including WNY News Now. Off the tail of one of the most successful Small Business Saturday in recent history, the Chamber of Commerce also hopes this contest will bring new customers into local businesses.
I want to really encourage, and we as the Chamber especially, want to encourage people to shop small all year. It's awesome at the holidays, but just remember, when it comes time for doors open, which is coming up soon, or if you're going out to Mayville to the Winter Festival, a few of our winter events that are coming up, remember to shop small and support those local businesses.
Julia Gress, WNY News Now.
Julia, thank you. Well, that's all the time that we have for today. We'll leave you with this look at Lakeside Park with all that snow, and we'll catch you next time on WNY News Now.